Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Mornings with Michael in the afternoon. Mornings with Michael is brought to you for information and educational purposes only. So let's get to the charts here. First of all, let's take a look at the S&P 500 heat map. It's more like a chill map today. What went up yesterday has come down today. Microsoft, Apple slightly, Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla's the only one up in that area. And don't see Netflix right now. Financials are a mixed bag. Some restaurants are up, farm and heavy equipment. Utilities and some healthcare is up. So that's a look at the heat or chill map on the S&P 500. Let's share our other screen. If you don't want to worry about the slings of arrows of outrageous fortune, you should look into an annuity. Guarantee that you'll never lose money. It will always go up, not come down. Will go up another step, not come down. And whereas the index investing bobs and weaves with the slings and arrows of the stock market, the economy, and the world. So there you have it. Average annuity growth is about 5% better than index investing. And right now they're giving 40 to 45% bonuses on any new money coming on. So $100,000 investment, get a right away, get another $40 to $45,000 put into the account. And this is how beat these averages. So there we go. Let's bring up our chart. So here we go. We had talked about this last week. This is a high beta S&P 500. Been outperforming. We'll just share our other screen here. I kind of added to the PowerPoint we had over there on Saturday. We'll go up here. This is the NASDAQ. We typically in a bear market have 3 sell-offs. 1, 2, 3. Now what we don't know, we usually have a flushing out that goes way down, scares everybody out. We haven't had that yet. A lot of people are saying it's coming in 2024, going to break the 2020 lows as we have a hard landing. Others are saying that we got a bubble in the AI companies. So watch out for that. Follow-through days. We had attempted follow-through day on August 29th, which failed eventually. We had another attempted follow-through day on October 6th, which also failed. And now on November 1st, we had another follow-through day that has been working. We've had a few one stalling day so far. That's when the market goes up and then it sells off towards the end, cannot hold it. Now, regarding the high beta index, Invesco S&P 500 high beta ETF is based on the S&P 500 high beta index. The fund will invest at least 90% of its total assets in securities that comprise the index. The index is compiled, maintained, and calculated by Standard & Poor's and consists of the 100 stocks from the S&P 500 index with the highest sensitivity to market movements, or beta, over the past 12 months. Beta is a measure of relative risk and is a rate of change of securities price. The fund and the index are rebalanced and reconstituted quarterly in February, May, August, and November. There you have it. We really thank MarketSmith for compiling this. And let's go on. This is a look at the return since November 1st follow-through day. S&P 500 and the RSP are pretty neck and neck. The equal weight S&P 500 is outperforming slightly as of 11/29, and the S&P high beta is significantly outpacing the other two indexes. So that's our story there. Let's go back to sharing our screen. Let's see, where did our screen? Let me stop this, share, and go back to our chart. So this is the NASDAQ Amex. We can see that advanced decline line has been rising, which is positive. Let's see if this is updated as of today. That was 11/28. Let's advance this. I guess it only does it on a weekly fashion. So this is what we got until we get to Friday. And this is the New York Stock Exchange. As we see, the advancers are rising against the decliners, which is healthy for the market. And we'll come back to this one. Sentinel 1 is up after hours 31%. Also in the same index that we're looking at, Palo Alto Networks, which had broke out and is pulling back. Looks like a little bit of a stalling day today. CrowdStrike, which has moved up, had a little bit of a stalling, tried to really move up. And Zscaler, a little bit of a stalling, coming back in line. So let's take a look at our dollar index. I believe it was slightly up today, up 7 cents. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. We got 3 days up in a row, so above its 20-day moving average. It's going to put our hurt on gold a little bit. Not too bad, as gold's up slightly today. Silver is continuing down to its 20-day moving average, down almost 1%. Here are our copper issues. It's down as well. Southern Copper is down. BHP actually gapped up today. It's pretty amazing, almost up 1%. Look at Rio. And that's that. Interesting, that's up as well. Let's look at our bond yields. Continue to sink. Down another 1.2% today. Down to 4.12. I believe it was 1.7 yesterday. Our 20-year bond has now sunk 2 gap downs in a row. It's sunk below the 200-day moving average. That doesn't seem good for our economy. And let's take a look at the volatility index is popping up a little bit today, bouncing off the 10-day moving average, almost up 1%. You would think the S&P would be down, and it is down 0.4%. The equal weighted is actually up slightly. It tried to move forward and Looks like we got a stalling day here. The NASDAQ tried to move higher and push lower, down a little over 0.5%. Our equal weight doesn't look as bad, down 0.15%. Russell index tried to move higher, and we got a little bit of a stalling in the Russell as well. Dow Jones pretty flat. Before we move on to our ETFs and where the financial money managers are moving the money, we may see some of that in the news. World news, Japan's Tankan survey shows December manufacturer sentiment index up 12% versus up 6% in November. Service sector index up 26 versus November's 27. Latest API figures show build of 594 barrels versus expectations 2.67 million barrel draw. Gasoline inventories rose this week by 2.83 million barrels. Distillate inventories also rose this week with a gain of 90,000 barrels. And then we had an employment report, I believe, here. Let me see if I can get that here. Came much lower than what was estimated. The market initially cheered this because of the Fed rate probably would not be raising rates. Let's see if I can find it here. Let me put everything on pause and I'll be right back. So had a call just come into our show. So that was awesome. Next time they come in, I'll play it live. But here's the numbers. Businesses added 103,000 new jobs in November. A paycheck company, ADP, said. Economists polled the Wall Street Journal had a forecast of 128,000. So it's significantly lower. And the payroll estimate is not an accurate predictor of government's official employment report that follows in a few days, but both surveys signal deterioration in jobs market. Companies are not seeking to hire as many people or fill every job openings that pop up. The ADP report also said the economy has only added a combined 298,000 jobs since September, less than 100,000 a month, to mark the weakest stretch since early in the pandemic of 2020. So there you have that. So let's go back to our news. We're on to the sector news breakdown, and let me share our screen. Delta Airlines reaffirms Q4 and full year 23 outlook, and that didn't clear here. Here we go. And we got a pop, gapped up, and pretty much held all of that. That's one of the better looking stocks today that moved up. Dave and Buster's Q3 EPS loss of 12 cents versus estimate of 12 cents. Tried to move up, and like a lot on the market today, it sold off. A little stalling action there. NEO rises after Reuters reports company is mulling spinning off battery production unit in efforts to turn profitable. says the spinoff could happen as early as the end of the year. Interesting, NIO doesn't charge batteries, they replace the battery in the car. That's what I've been told. Rent the runway, Q3 EPS 45 cents versus estimate 45 cents versus estimate of 43 cents. Both of those numbers were losses. Sold off, and it came back at the end of the close to, it was still down 5.92%. Not good, but it did fight back at the end. Stitch Fix, Q1 EPS 30-cent loss versus estimate of 23-cent loss. And they did not like that. That's down 3.36%. Massive selling there. Toll Brothers, Q4 EPS $4.11 versus $3.72. Gaps up, but closes on the low. We'll just have to see how it fares next week. Pretty good volume here. Even though it was less than last quarter at this time. Last quarter, it was down by 27%, their earnings. Tobacco stocks, Philip Morris, gaps down, tried to come back. Altria, shares trading lower at British American Tobacco, said it will take a hit around 31.5 billion as it writes down the value of some US cigarette brands such as Newport, Camel, Pall Mall, Natural American Spirit. And yes, British American Tobacco is down a massive amount compared to those other two stocks, down 8.5%. Thor Industries Q1 EPS 99 cents versus estimate of 97 cents. Tried to move up, and we got a significant stalling. A lot of this could be selling at the end of the day, people taking their profits. Energy, industrials, and materials. AV, we've been talking about them. Q2 adjusted EPS 97 cents versus estimate of 62 cents. Amazing. Expectations must have been a lot higher. So this is a drone maker. And but they're pretty positive on their forward looking. But we'll just have to check back and see how their stock reacts. ExxonMobil said it plans to raise share buybacks as the oil giant accelerates crude production in the U.S. Permian Basin, boosted its $60 billion acquisition of Pioneer Natural Resources. Exxon will repurchase $20 billion of stock next year, and their shares keep moving lower, so they're going to be able to buy it at a discount. Powell Industries, Q4 EPS $1.95 versus estimate of $1.21. Tried to move higher and got a little bit of stalling. Highest volume on the selling since the base over here. Suncor Energy released its 2024 corporate guidance, which includes annual upstream production of 770,000 to 810,000 barrels per day. On to financials. MasterCard announces $11 billion share buyback and raises dividend by 16%. Got a little positive bump there, up 0.4%. Volume wasn't as high as you'd like it. PayPal downgraded to neutral from buy at Bank of America with a price target of $66, down from $77. And their stock moves up. Go figure. Danaher, they had that purchase yesterday we were speaking of, and they cut their quarterly dividend to 24 cents from 27 cents. I'm not sure that's the reason it's going up today, but it is. Health Equity, Q3 EPS 60 cents versus estimate 50 cents. Tried to move up and then sold off. Still up 0.45%. Neurocrine Biosciences received breakthrough therapy designation for its treatment for congenital adrenal hyperplasia from the FDA, and said it is on track to submit a new drug application for Crinecerfont in treatment of congenital adrenal Hyperplasia. Novavax announced that Health Canada has granted expanded authorization for Nuvaoxoid XBB 1.5 vaccine for active immunization to prevent COVID-19 caused by SARS-CoV-2 in individuals aged 12 and older. And Freesia, Q3 estimated loss, 58 cents versus estimate loss of 36 cents. Go figure, and it goes up. But it raised the full year 24 beta outlook to approximately negative 39 million. Maybe that's why it went up on pretty good volume. Looks like 2,122% increase in volume. Went up, no, it's 375%. I stand corrected. And it looks like 21.22% increase in the share value. And my little handheld shut down. On to technology, media, and telecom. Asana, Q3 adjusted EPS loss, 4 cents versus estimate of 11-cent loss. Was better than estimated, and it dives. Boost, full year 24 adjusted EPS loss view. Oh, maybe that's why their loss is increasing in the coming year. Box, Q3 EPS 36 cents versus estimate 38 cents, and it's diving on the news, down 10% on some massive volume. MongoDB, Q3 adjusted EPS 96 cents versus estimate of 50 cents, and they are diving 10.66%. Guides Q4 revenue 429 to 433 versus estimate of 413.94. I guess they wanted their forward thinking to be a little better. NVIDIA CEO said the company is working closely with the US government to ensure new chips for Chinese market are compliant with export curbs. And their stock went up yesterday and has come back down to its 50-day moving average today. Easy come, easy go, I guess. UMA, Q3 adjusted EPS 15 cents versus estimate 15 cents, and it dives. People are wanting to have a lot more. And Sentinel-1, we looked at that a little bit earlier. Look at this blue dot. Huge breakout. Where did that breakout come? Right over here. When it came up off of that selling day, and then we had a follow-up day the next day, gap up and raise. So if you were watching this, you definitely had clues that this was going to go up. This was a double bottom you'd have here. So I believe that 1793. So you wanted to be at 1803 would be your buy point. It's up 16.6% today. And you have to be looking at the sector it's in. Palo Alto Networks is up, Zscaler is up, and CrowdStrike is up. So if you're following these at all, this would give you a hint. And finally, Yext, Q3 adjusted EPS 9 cents versus 7 cents. Not what people were looking for, and continues to fall. And we have one more. Sorry about that. Credo Technology Group files 300 million mixed security shelf, and it sells off today. So let's move on. Let's see. Let's move back here. Stock market is struggling to keep moving forward. As it starts to sink, home builders continue to shine. You saw Sentinel-1's doing well. Let's just look at the ETF. We have a huge gap up. fell to the lowest it's been here, but see what the building materials have done. That's the wrong one. Building materials continue to sink. Toll Brothers gapped up nearly 2% today. Did close down, now sits about 5% above the buy zone with a cup with the handle base. This is a cup with a handle here. Got a little pattern recognition. And it broke out right over here at 87.12. Home builder Lennar rose in sympathy with toll stock, breaking out of a cup with a handle as well. Look at this nice shelf pattern that I continue to talk about. I really like. Exhibit a shorter one right here, and then it's gapped up into the buy zone. KB Home. Yeah, they're all exhibiting cup with handle formations, breaking out. And that's it there. So let's look at SMH. It's down. AMD, which was coming out with the AI chip, I believe, today, tried to move higher and then sold off on pretty heavy volume, 1.32%. Looked at Mongo and Asan. Look at Campbell's Soup. Gapped up 7%, led the S&P 500 after the packaged food producer beat first quarter earnings. Nice gap up here. There's tight trading over here. I'm not sure if you call this a shelf or not, but a pretty tight pattern. We had a little bit of strong buying over here. Another day over here. Some strong selling here. So maybe it was a surprise, but it's definitely got a lot of volume and people interested today. And let's go to see where the big money was flowing in today. So GTLB, which I told you we put in $51 call before their earnings. Let's see if we can bring up shift 4 as well. Yes, this is 4. Looks like it's building. Got a double bottom base here. 59.95 is a middle, so it'd be 60.05. It has surpassed that. Relative strength line. We'll have to continue to watch that. It did have a little bit of a selling today. Shift 4 payments is used by all the hotels for payment processing, getting your deposits when you check into a hotel. But let's go back to where the money was flowing. GitLab, about over here around 51. Earnings came out, capped up, huge move. Highest amount of volume. Volume remains still pretty high as people are moving, trying to dress up their portfolio with it. And INFA provides AI-powered platform, offers data management software. Massive volume. It did break out over here. It's way extended. It gave you a clue right over here. Pretty good volume, 1.9 million. That was the most since the base. So these things do give you clues. RadNet, diagnostic imaging facilities in California, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Florida, and New York. It's breaking out. I got one. Didn't really try to break out here, but this is definitely a double bottom. And 30.84 would have been the buy point right over here. Had a big move here, and look where it's gone ever since then. So got another breakout in Sherwin-Williams. Pretty good volume coming into here. Look at all these blue bars down here. This is giving you a warning that mutual funds are buying this, and then it gaps up here today. Ryanair, we had this on the show in the past. This is a leading issue in the airlines with the stock. Look at all this blue bar volume. These are all footprints of the professional money managers buying this stock, just telling you what they're buying. And it went up another 2.72% today. 5.9 we had on the show yesterday, I believe. And the day before, moved up here. Some people took some profits, and now it's moving up again another 2% on a down day in the market. It's a good sign. BLD. Top build. 2 days ago, we had them on the show, breaking out on huge volume, and they're just continuing with another gap up today. Uber, which was added to the S&P 500, is pretty well extended. I'd wait for another pullback before buying this, but it just continues up another 3.07%. Sterling Infrastructure, it's down below most of its moving averages, but did gap up today. Moved above its 20-day. I would just need to prove it to me. Need to give above the 50-day moving average. And IDEX Laboratories continues up. Pretty lopsided base here, but relative strength line is moving up. The number is moving up, and it looks like it's breaking out of a pattern here. Bugs me that little box doesn't want to go away. It's following me wherever I go. So let's look at some of the other ETFs. Financials got a little softer today. I definitely see that as stalling. Energy is definitely in a hard place. Oil pricing, wow, look at that big gap down and sinks to a low. Real estate tried to move higher and it sold off. A little stalling action there as well. Biotech moved higher and it kept most of its gain. And the IBB starting to show life as well. Software holding at the 10-day moving average. That's a good sign. And technology got another stalling day there. Tried to move up and then sold off. Industrials actually was pretty good right here. Industrials and home builders. Yes. See what are metals and mining. And they tried to move higher and the dollar is getting stronger and they're just selling off. So we did not look at crypto. Crypto had a little bit of a pullback in Ethereum today, off a little over 3%. And looks like Bitcoin had a slight pullback, but remains pretty strong. See what MicroStrategy looks very similar to Bitcoin. And let's take a look. We looked at some of the cyber technology stocks that we had looked at before. Meta seems to be pulling back here. See if it'll come down any further. Seems 3 days in a row pretty strong at the 317 area. Microsoft looked like it was going to go back into the blue area. It's pulled back today. Netflix, it looked pretty good there, and it is failing miserably. So it'll have to reset and see if it can charge forward again. Google looks like it's working on a cup of the handle. It's not quite ready yet. Apple looked like it broke out yesterday and pulled back slightly, but it's not too bad here. Nvidia tried to move up yesterday and sold off today, down 2.28%. And let's look at some of the other stocks we're looking at. BLT tried to move higher, and much like the market, pulled back, but it's still right in line. It's building another shelf here. Seems to be getting a lot of support. The other stock we looked at with BLTE, GLSI, continues to move higher. I may buy a few more shares, not too many, but I have a number already, but it looks like it's ready to break out of another pattern. So pretty good volume over here. And I think that we got ELF, eyes, lips, and face. So it looks pretty good. Much like the market, it tried to move up and then pull back to a low. But it's still working on this cup pattern. I'd continue to watch this. I did buy some options on that. Also in the software, I think it's Internet of Things. Still holding above that gap up. Still looks pretty good here. Let's see if there is any other. Here we're going to look at Kava. Tried to move higher, much like the market, pulled back, still up 0.86%. In uranium, got a slight pullback, but it's still within range here. And ARM, I guess it's still in range with this up-down pattern. It's kind of a shelf pattern. I'm going to continue to hold on. I bought an option on this one. We'll just kind of see how it behaves here. And that's kind of our review for today. Well, this has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, we'll be back on Thursday. Hope everybody has a great day. Keep working on your goals and your activities. You'll amaze yourself. If we can help you with any of your financial goals, we're always here to help you and boost your pocketbook. In the meantime, have a great day.